The bearded quartermaster gives you a friendly nod. What can I do for you? You supply wood to any wine shopper proud. Does the crusade really need this much alcohol? Windsor smiles shyly. Don't think I'm trying to encourage drunkenness among our crusaders. It's all in good fun, a way to blow off some steam. When soldiers can gather by the fire and raise cup of honor both the living and the dead, it reminds them that life goes on. For those who drink to excess or to the determinant of the duties won't get a drop from me. There is no sign more depressing than a drunkard. I saw you talking to the girl hiding her face. Who was she and what was she want? I don't know, Commander. She never introduced herself, but I bet she's not a part of the army. I know all our soldiers by name and by sight. Windsor frowns gloomily. His cordiality gone in an instant. She was looking for some elf volunteer, wanted to know which tent she was sleeping in. At first I thought she was a messenger from Mendev. She definitely wasn't one of us. But now I see how it all looks mighty shifty. The quartermaster eyes you with concern. She was some sort of spy then. Let's have a look here. We've got... Hey Chief, wanna talk? What do you think of your new powers? Worldwound pauses to think, rubbing his chin. You mean what you did back there? I have a few ideas. We could send you to Pitax on the underground area to fight, give you a scary name like Swift Sting or something like that, give you a great cover story, enemies burn down your house, you avenging your dead family, the public eats that stuff up. You'll wear a shiny eye-catching outfit, or a black one if you like a black better. We'll split the prize money 640, 60 for me of course, you know, arranging fights isn't easy. The people are tough. I'll be taking more risk than you, and after we get set in the Pitax, we'll, 2 different cities, make some real money. Why don't you like, what you don't like the sound of it? But do you have any other suggestion? Wall just grins, his yellow eyes lighting up. I got more. Have you heard of Razmirian? It's some land in the River Kingdoms ruled by the King Razmir. A friend of mine used to live in Razmiran and got out of there as fast as he could. Long story short, King Razmir of there is a god. He keeps his people under his heel. They are all terrified of what he might do. He sits on his throne wearing some white mask, giving power to anyone. Come and take power from me, he says, so long as you believe in me. Worldwound quickly check that no one is eavesdropping, but a friend of mine, the one who fled, has a half-sister on his old man's side who's a cook in the castle, and a washwoman who the cook plays cards with in the evenings told her just a rumor. Word is Razmir isn't a real god at all, and he's got no powers. So, here's my point. You do have powers, pretty scary ones too. We'll find some trouble at the kingdom, I'll start some rumors, you'll show off a few tricks to wow the locals, and that's it. We'll take you as a deity. But first I want you to put in writing that I'll be your chief advisor. I'm not doing anything just on the road or just on a nod. I've been there. People promise you mountains of gold, and then when it comes to it, they all get lost, or I'll sit the dogs on you. So, do you like the idea? You should be punished for heretical thoughts. Worldwound grins acidly. That's the spirit. You're already thinking like a deity, talking about heresy and punishment. Perfect. Look at it this way. You can be proud and poor, or a king and filthy stinking rich. You think maybe the Aldori are gonna come and offer you a barony because you're such a nice person? Yeah, right. You don't need to wait for favors. We'll grab them with our own hounds. I mean, you will. And I'll be standing nearby giving you advice. That's what we need. Anyway, we'll buy it. We've got money. Very nice. 27 plus the constitution. I think that's all in here. I think Camellia, we haven't spoken to her.
Let us be off.
Ah, Holgus Gwem has been expecting you, thumb stuck in his belt. There you are. I've been waiting. As you see, I too have joined the crusade. I don't know how to swing the sword, but what is costly, and I have money. Besides, my intellect and business sense may prove useful even in the battlefield. Besides, I believe, Hogus shifts awkwardly from foot to foot. I believe I owe you an apology. The way I behaved was rude. Ill-mannered. You are the honest and honourable person. You have clawed your way up from the bottom of society to the title of Knight Commander, and you are friends with Queen Galfrey herself. Such persistence deserves respect. Ogre tilts his head in a brief acknowledgement of your merits. Please allow me to give you this magical amulet from my humble personal treasury to mark our future cooperation. Well, why have you decided to support the crusade now? With all due respect, that's none of your business. I have my reasons. Perhaps I felt a rush of patriotism when Kenabres were destroyed. Anyway, why would you think I never supported the crusade? Perhaps I simply don't like to brag about my donations. Ostentatious charity only attracts beggars. I'd wager that Irebeth has no idea whose money she's spending on drinks and supplies. Well, what can you tell me about the Count Diedrin Arandei? The noble of Kenabres should be acquainted with each other, shouldn't they? He is a brilliant young man with a brilliant pedigree. And the story of his, the nobility is the glue that keeps our society together. I suppose this is why demons so often choose their estates as primary targets. Who would notice the demons' bloody massacre if they only slaughtered poor countryfolk? The Arandei family shared the tragic plight of the Gwyrms. Along with many other members of the nobility, they fell victim to a treacherous attack during the major celebration taking place at the family estate. I hadn't received an invitation and was slightly insulted by the snub, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. The gods saved me from a terrible fate. All the guests died that day from the magical demonic disease. I sympathize with the Count deeply. He has endured so much, and it's no wonder he keeps himself aloof from me. I think this is due to the fact that Hogwarts Gwyn's fate so resembles his own, and we both have to relive those terrible memories whenever we see each other. Hex. So you are Hogwarts' daughter. You've discovered my most terrible secrets. Oh, you've done this. I found a number of interesting implements and accessories in the Gwem's mansion. How kind of you to share that you've gone through the Gwem's dirty laundry and drawn some bizarre conclusion. If you value my company, please refrain from making such insinuation in the future. And what do you think about the powers you received from me? Camellia shrugged nonchalantly. People of noble descent grow accustomed to ample opportunity. The powers I receive from you are useful, but I see no point in treating them with excessive piety. Okay.
What's that?
Anonymous pamphlet. I spit on the street of Kenabres. I spit on its granite walls and its stained glass windows. If tomorrow the ground trembles, splits apart, and devours this cursed city, I will not shed one tear. No one here, not a single soul, deserves my compassion. Everyone who lives in this city is a criminal. If there were any justice in this world, every one of them would be hanging from the gallows. Prelate Kurlung, the Queen Galfrey chief amongst them. Ask anyone on the street what they know of mongrels. The answer will be the damned silence of a lowered eyes of a scoundrel who knows the crimes but don't want to think about it. Mongrels, a disgusting nickname which the residents of the city have given the brave crusaders heroes who defeat the forces of evil but paid for it with their health. Covered with scabs and tumors, bloated and gnarled, they were no longer beautiful enough to be tolerated by the very people they saved. As a reward for their heroism, the city dwellers exiled them to the sewers and damp caves beneath the city. The author of these words went down there and spoke with them, and I'll have you know that the ugliest of them is more noble than all the paladins of Mendev, not to mention that the head-chopping prelate and his murderous queen. And if any presented that today's city dwellers are responsible for the crime of the grandfathers, then I will spit on the face, for the grandchildren of the exiles are still down there, crawling in the mud and eating garbage. And everyone knows about this and does nothing, and everyone who should know but prefers blissful ignorance. I say they are all guilty and they repeat the same crime every day. And as long as this doesn't change, any citizen who desires to fight a demon should take a knife and stab themselves in the mouth. For your city has already rotted, and you are no better than the demons. And if anyone would repent and right this terrible wrong, they should turn their weapons on the prudish paladins who preach good but defend an order that flies in the face of justice. Down with the paladins, down with the prelate Kurlung, down with the Queen Galfrey. Area.
Let's move!
Hero nods approvingly. You earned the title of commander. Kenabres will still stand thanks to you. But you'll have to be doubly on your guard. Your eminence places a target on your back and there is an assassin about. Killing a high-ranking crusader would bring the demon far more prestige than killing a common soldier. Not long ago, I stymied a few of the Spinner of the Nightmare's attempts on the lives of influential crusaders, so I know what I'm talking about. Which influential crusader did you save from the Spinner of Nightmare? I've been hunting the Spinner of Nightmares for over a year. My agents, by that time, I'd created a proper network, reported to me that she returned to Nerosin. I immediately suspected that she was planning a great atrocity. By that time, I learned all too well that the Spinner was master of illusions and charms. That's why I never left the house without this. Hilo takes a monocle from his pocket and puts it on carefully. This is the Eye of Truth. It allows me to see through illusions. My friends got it from the priestess of Nethys. However, neither this monocle nor my network agents were adequate to prevent the attack, and we were nearly too late. The Spirit of Nightmare decided to strike at the Cruciform Cathedral. They had gathered to celebrate the victory of the Fifth Crusade. It was a great holiday and there was a lavish ceremony at the cathedral. An influential priest, Anthoclitus, was in charge of the festivities. They were intending to crown him with a tiara, a symbol of his high status, but the sacred tiara had been replaced. The spinner had obtained a inculitis, a sentient and rather ominous cephalopod from the other end of the world. She raised it from the Elva and trained it carefully, and she cast an illusion on it so that everyone would see it as a tiara. The moment its shell was placed on Antholicutus' head, the cephalopod would realize its tentacle and penetrate the priest's skull. Its poison would seep into his brain and it would seize control over Antholipopos' dead body. Fortunately, we were able to stop the madness in time. I spotted the Spinner of Nightmares in the crowd, chased her down, and we ended up crossing swords on the roof of the cathedral. I nearly defeated her, but she fled upon a giant stallion who was able to run across the air as if it were on the ground. I was so close to catching her. She suffered a setback, but I let her escape. Hilo bitter and angry smile show he hasn't made peace with his failure. Tell me about confronted it. It's a long story. Telling you everything would take 2 days. Which part would you like to know? Yeah, I've done that. I've done that. Okay, thanks. Where's the storyteller? Is he already gone? Having defeated a band of cultists who had driven the captives from Kenabres and made the ruins of Vala's Cave the temporary base, the commander's army celebrates its first triumph. Unfortunately, the demon's worshippers have killed all the citizens and gathered their belongings into a huge pile in the middle of the camp. Crusaders stumbled out on a group of ragged and exhausted scouts. They had set out to patrol a mission deep into the Worldwound, but when the Kenabres was attacked, they found themselves cut off and surrounded by demons. Surviving in such a hostile condition was not easy, but the scout spirits remained high and they readily joined the commander's forces. Having defeated the enemy, the Crusaders scatter across the battlefield in search of trophies. The officers keep an eye on the process so that all the valuable trophies go to the treasury and don't end up in the pockets of the lucky soldiers.
How have you described paladins in this encyclopedia of yours, Nenyo? I bet it's something like bull-headed and boring warriors fixated on the principles of goodness and fairness. That's how the world sees us, right?
My definition is something like noble warriors, defenders of the dejected and the downtrodden, who display an aversion to evil in all its manifestations. But your version is also good. I'll add it in.
An unassuming cemetery on the outskirts of the Kenabres, named after the martyr of a hero of the First and Second Crusades. It serves as the final resting place for the Crusader who came from half a world away to fight demons, and for townspeople who never picked up a weapon in their lives. Despite the proximity of the Worldwound, the Wardstone has always prevented demons from setting foot here, thereby protecting this place against desecration. An elderly man limps towards the grave and clumsily throws a handful of soil inside. How unfair. They were all so young. They had their whole lives ahead of them. They sacrificed themselves, and an old cripple like me still lives. An elderly woman with her face bathed in tears steps up to the grave. She whimpers. The painting, it burned like everything else in the house. There is nothing left of me to remember you by. Nothing. A young man throws a handful of soil into the open grave and stands beside it for a while, lost in thought. Finally he sighs and steps back. Sosiel throws a handful of soil into the grave in front of him. He takes a breath and prepares to speak, but it seems that he simply cannot find the right words. The cleric wipes his tear-filled eyes, gathers his resolve, and says in a gentle voice, I wish you a warm welcome in Shaelin's realm. We will win this war, I swear to you. We'll banish this ugliness and evil, make the world richer, and let peace blossom in it. We'll make sure anything like this... He breaks into sob mid-sentence, then falls silent without finishing his declaration. You fought honorably and remain steadfast in your duty until your final breath. Your deeds will not be forgotten. Sosiel is too absorbed in his grief to hear you, but the other mourners aggressively raise their fist into the air, inspired by your words. Glory to the heroes of the Crusade! Never forget! What is that? An elven woman shrieks in horror, disturbed at the atmosphere of a silent mourning. Her trembling hand points at something moving inside the grave. Suddenly, a corpse climbs out of the ground, waffling a horrible stench from its rotten body. It's a zombie! Run!
We won't fall here. I swear it.
Cover me, all right?
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Nice.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
stab you or zap you. Why not both?
Mind over muscle.
Forward!
Nice.
You won't survive me.
The light take you!
Distract them from me.
You should have listened to reason.
We won't falter!
The heavy-hearted Sosiel looks at the corpses of the friends returned to rest by his own hand. Why is this twisted mockery? Who could this possibly— Wait, what's this? He bends down and recovers something from the ground. Take a look at this. Sosiel hands over a black onyx gem to you. One precious, the stone is now covered in cracks, falling apart in your grasp as you examine and the engraved Minotaur head, the unholy symbol of Baphomet. The cleric's voice, perplexed at first, fills with rage as he speaks. Cultists, simply murdering my friends was not enough for them. No, they had to come to the funeral and desecrate their lives, the graves. Looks like some of the townspeople were only faking the grief. These demon worshippers are everywhere. Now I understand why the Inquisition of Kenabres became so paranoid. Wait, the townspeople fled the undead without knowing they have a traitor amongst them. Wherever they are in great danger. We must find them. Interesting.
Onwards.
Pretty good, aren't I?
The half-rotten corpse of a woman shambles out of the crypt. She leers at you with her empty eye sockets and croaks out a few words. Thank the gods and thank you too. I knew this was going to happen someday. They buried me alive. And you are Baroness Ninel Bollard at your service. The dead woman bobs a clumsy crusty, her legs barely supporting her. My estate is too far from here. Let me assure you that all of you are always welcome there, assuming you are properly attired. I hate to break to you, but you're actually dead. How dare you? What utter foolishness! I do not like the corpses to you. Do I look like corpses to you? No, no, no. You forget yourself. You should be ashamed to say such a thing to her. A dead baroness wages a finger at you in a chasing manner, but cuts herself short, staring at her own hand in horror. What? How? This simply cannot be. I shan't permit it. I'm afraid it's true. I'm truly sorry. This graveyard was desecrated by a necromancer. It seemed that he disturbed your rest as well. The dead woman covers her face with what remains of her decaying hand. So I died. But even in death, the accursed servant of the abyss torments me. Can nothing be done? Perhaps you could lay me to rest. I quite enjoy my life in this world, but now there is no place for me here, not in this miserable form. Well, how did you awaken? Do you remember anything? Allow me a moment to think. Seem like it. Yes, indeed. I woke because I had a voice. They were reciting poetry, or a prayer perhaps. I suppose those were spells then. It must have been your thrice the mad necromancer. Would you like to pass along any words of comfort to your friends and family while you are here? That's a good for nothing bad of hangers on. Most certainly not. Thank you very much. I am reasonably confident that they have already brought my estate to ruin and squandered the fortune I bequeathed to them. They will have to do without my missives. Spare us both this indignity and embarrassment. You see, I would still be in the company of those I truly care for, were it not for you, discouraged sorcerer and his parlor tricks. Rest in peace. Thank you. Do feel free to take my burial jewelry. Those pieces are dreadfully out of the fashion where I'm going anyway.
This is my kind of work. This is my kind of work.
Are we in trouble yet? To battle, my friends!
No glory without risk!
Time to share your treasures!
Endure this!
Into the fray!
Always be ready for the worst.
I can't cast it like that. Strike with all your might!
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Cover me, all right?
Make every strike count!
We can do it!
No glory without risk!
Begone, fiend!
You've crossed the wrong mongrel! Forwards!
Well, it looks like they are waiting for us. There's a whole squad of undead guarding the door. Maybe we should look for another entrance. Maybe.
I'm all ears.
Let's prove their logic is lacking.
Let us be off!
We are the light. They are the darkness.
Tactical retreat. It's all your fault.
Very powerful.
You won't survive me.
Into the fray!
I can't die now. It's all your fault.
Endure this! This is not my time yet. Unexpected.
We won't falter!
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Strike with all your might!
The light, take you!
Fall!
I'll remove this obstacle.
We can do it!
Into the fray!
I will bring down the divine wrath!
I'm wounded.
Bloody hell! They're very powerful. Gonna have to buff up, aren't I? Oh my god, really? I didn't save it before the freaking fight? Are you messing?
Meditate on your mistakes. It might make you feel better.
Do not fear. Do not waver. No glory without risk!
Mind over muscle.
Forwards!
Cover me, all right?
You crossed the wrong mongrel. Begone, fiend!
Into the fray!
I'll remove this obstacle.
We won't falter! Yeah!
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
You won't survive me. Fall!
The light! Thank you!
Let us be off.
I'm all ears. Did you see that?
We should move.
We will win this war.
Doubt is the heart's greatest challenge.
Ask nicely.
Are we ready to move out?
The world has suffered enough. Aborane Sente. We won't fall here. I swear it.
Distract them from me.
Go.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Strike with all your might!
Endure this. Your performance is lacking. You are lacking. I will bring down the divine wrath.
Time to share your treasures.
No glory without risk!
We can do it!
Make every strike count.
Let's move! I am finished. It is done. I am finished.
Pretty good, aren't I?
I am finished.
Who are you? What do you want? All you have to do is die in the name of Bahamut. Have faith. You can do it. Don't you dare get away from them. This is the end of your blasphemous magic. I won't let you harm the living or the dead anymore. Do you think I need your permission? Hey, you bungle, stand up and kill.
Can we retreat already? Cover me, alright? Can't you just die already?
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
You're irrelevant.
Eternal Rose, I call upon you!
Into the fray!
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
You won't survive me.
Forwards!
The light, take you!
Endure this!
We won't falter!
I surrender, stop, I give up, don't hit me. The young man in the black robes throws his hands up in a dramatic gesture. You damned rat, how dare you! Suddenly Sosiel becomes a totally different person. The artist's delicate hands clench into fists while his voice comes out as a menacing roar. He leaps like a necromancer and breaks his nose with a single blow. You scumbag, I remember you. You came to our temple begging for healing just a month ago. We fed you, we shared our table with you and took you in. Then I don't even know what I'm going to do with you. Stop it, I surrender, you are... Sosiel ignoring the necromancer's cries of pain, punching him right in the teeth. The necromancer spits blood but continues, fighting past the wide blows of his increasing bruised and busted face. You are the priest of Shaylin, I've surrendered, so you have to spare my life. Your goddess demands it. Do not listen to his lie, he deserves to die. It would be justice to kill him on the spot. Sosiel looks at his blooded hands in disgust and punches the battle cultist away. No, there is no justice in killing him right now. It would be a simple act of revenge. I had absolutely no idea there was so much rage in me. It's a shame. Disgrace, but I must admit that I enjoyed beating him. Forgive me for letting you see me like this. It should never have happened. Sosiel wipes the necromancer's blood off his knuckles and steps away from him. You are the commander and he is your captive. It's up to you to decide his fate. I surrender. Here, take this, everything I've got, just don't kill me. The cultist turns to his pockets. Well, what do you think I should do with him? Sosiel stares at the cultist and through clenched teeth utters, I have no right to decide, whatever should live or die. You are in charge here. I will send a messenger with order to imprison the cultist. His deeds will be punished to the fullest extent of the law. Yes, that's the right thing to do. The cleric lets out a sigh of relief. Thank you. Sosiel examines the devastated graveyard, then diverts his attention to the terrified townspeople. It's alright, you're safe now. We should bury the bodies again. This is a place of peace and we must not leave it desecrated like this. The townsfolk are clearly terrified of even looking at the fallen undead, but Sosiel's soft words reassure them. As they work together, the graveyard soon regains its tranquil appearance. After a prayer, Sosiel bows his head before the grave of his friends for the last time. May the eternal rose grant them peace at last. Let's be on our way. We have many more innocents to protect from the horrors of this war.
Follow me.
Don't mind me.
A message for the commander. A knight in simple armor lowers his voice. I'm the Queen's bodyguard. She sent me to tell you she's arrived at the camp incognito as planned. You can find her where the miners 90 order are camped. Come if you wish to speak with her. Their Majesty, I will come at once. Certainly.
March on!
Queen Galfrey nods to you cordially. Her armor is plain and unadorned. As promised, I entered the ranks incognito, along with the few bodyguards. I have introduced myself as Kitrain, an old friend of yours. I am a knight of a minor order, the Green Crow. We shall see how long it takes Anivia to sniff me out. The Queen chuckles. Well, why did you decide to join the Crusade after all then? Because I have a curious mind, and I'm quite unable to sit and do nothing for long. The Queen smiles, but then grows serious. You ask a difficult question. I must remain as safe as possible. My death or abduction would sow chaos amongst our forces. However, I am not only a queen, I am also a paladin of Ayomide. It is not in my nature to sit in a place with my sword sheathed. In a manner of speaking, your request was simply a convenient excuse for me to be where I belong, crusading against the demon hordes. Besides, I'm curious to see my new knight commander in action. I have questions for you as well. Why did you wish me to join a crusade? I want to know you better. Surely you know how intriguing you are. Enough, Commander, the Queen scoffs with a smile. Everything that could possibly known about me has been written in the chronicle and notarized. May I ask you a personal question? I've learned so much about Queen Galfrey from chronicles and legend, but what about the Queen Galfrey, the one that historians and bards cannot see? The Queen smiles faintly. That Galfrey is an old woman, weighed down by a great burden, but she has not lost her passion, and she will make her feathers fly when the time comes. Well, I look forward to working closely with you, and who knows, maybe feathers won't be the only thing that's flying. Galfrey arches her eyebrow. I see, my knight commander is not above resorting to clumsy innuendo. Do you really think that you are the first person to attempt to charm me with such words? You are not. If you want to impress me, you will need to do better than that. Well, how does it feel living for so long beyond all natural limits? You are over 100 years old, my queen, aren't you? Still, you sound like a prosecutor at a trial. Why allow yourself what others cannot have against all natural law? That is what I heard in your question. The Queen frowns. But rulers benefit from criticism, do they not? I should answer thus. The decision to prolong my life was not mine. It was the decision of the Church of Ayomide. The Sun Orchid elixirs have been paid for by the Church. The priest determined that I was needed in these dark times, both as a ruler and a chosen paladin of Ayomide. I accept the decision, and the greater responsibility it entails. And why did you entrust me with Diren? The Queen smiles. I saw such a wonderful opportunity to teach the Count a lesson and just couldn't resist. Honestly, I expected you to dismiss him forthright. The Count would have been forced to return to a court and laughingstock. It would have been a truly sobering experience. There is nothing more disgraceful for a Mendevian nobleman than to be discharged like that. Dear Arandei, the Queen shakes her head. He was such a lovely child. His mother, Lady Seelah, was one of the most gracious people I have never met. She was amiable, yet decorous, and truly kind. Bonds of kinship among the nobility are on the whole highly practical and only useful for forming alliances, but Countess Arandei managed to become a true member of my family. I suppose this is why I spent so much time believing her son to be a better person than he actually was. His company is a heavy burden. Still, I must admit that I'm quite pleased that you decided to keep him as a companion. There is a small chance that once he has had a true taste of the Crusade life, the Count will finally cease to mock the Crusaders and cynically as he is wont to do. You gave an army and the title of Knight Commander to a stranger. Why? Because of 100 years I have protected my lands, trying to drive the demon horde back into the abyss. I have tried every right and rational method. The Queen affords herself a brief grim smirk. My armies have been led by the greatest generals, even Iomede's angels. My goddess Herald created the Wardstone for us. We have tested victory more than once, but we have failed to close the Worldwound. As for you, do not call yourself a stranger. You are the savior of Kenabres. Hundreds of its people saw the power that descends upon you and turned the demons to dust. It is a sign they awaited for decades, a sign for all loyal hearts and followers of Ayomide. The time has come. Hope has rekindled in the hearts of my subjects, thank you. Hope is a priceless resource. I have no choice but to give it wings. You called it the sign we've been waiting for, but I take you are reserving judgment. Your questions seem to catch a queen of balance, a struggle spark flash in her eyes. When Aroden perished and Ionide took over his legacy, I was among the first to serve the new goddess. I helped restore her church from the ashes left by the chaos after Aroden's death. Since then, I have served the inheritor loyally and truthfully. I like to believe that I've never earned the blessing of my goddess. The Queen's voice is surprisingly ardent. After I learned of what happened in Kenabres, when I met you at the Defender's Heart, I had so many questions. It is true that what happened was Ayomide work? Why did she give this power to someone unknown rather than to one of the most loyal followers? Could it be that my faith has grown weak and I do not recognize the deeds of my goddess even when they are happening right in front of me? Is the goddess somehow testing me? Those doubts were like poison. But I refused to let them poison me, the Queen finished strongly. I gave you an army, declared you a Knight Commander, and accepted you as would anyone chosen by the goddess. Well, we need more soldiers to take Dresden. All the forces I was afford to spare are either in your army already or on their way home here. We could call up volunteers, but if you had got to send out letters and appeals in the Queen's name, everywhere will know that I came with you. The demon will not miss such opportunities. The hordes will advance and overwhelm us. Not that is not an option. Talk to Irebeth, let her handle volunteer recruitment, and my name will remain hidden, much like my participation in the crusade. So if I can sell something else to get 7.5 tons of gold. Here you go, consider it done. Okay, I'm skinned again. But some more soldiers. Seven up.
Seelah, my dear, won't you tell me again how sinful and morally bankrupt my lifestyle is, and how I must see the error of my ways? Your lectures always send me straight to sleep.
Yeah, right. Today, your path to repentance is silent prayer and self-reflection.
The site of the old battle between the Crusaders and demons is still strewn with thousands of corpses. The stench of death hangs thick in the air while the survivors lurch around the battlefield looting whatever they can. The dead, after all, won't need the trinkets and keepsake anytime soon. Oh, very nice. That's my 7.5 grand issue. Magical anomalies are common in the world of Golarion, so common that the use of the word anomaly itself is questionable. A regular city dweller will encounter a chaotic manifestation of supernatural power at least once in a lifetime. One might naturally assume that the strange sky, the ghostly fire from rifts in the ground, the rains of the eyeballs, and that of the Worldwound is known for, should find some purchase in the mortal mind. But in the most worldly of travelers feels uneasy at its borders. Why? Perhaps instinctively they understand that this place is not merely a magical wasteland, but a wound, an ulcer, through which the world itself bleeds into the abyss. The commander and his army walk up the high ranks of the West Sullen River, where it draws near the borders of the Worldwound. The soldiers' feet hold unbidden. On the other bank rises a series of cliffs, too regular in shape to have been formed by wind or water. The sky hangs over their sharp edges and sickening bends. The shade of Mercury on the horizon, rising to the dirty rust. As it arches above the soldiers' heads, it regains its familiar azure hue. The soldiers whisper and grumble. The commander feels eyes upon his back. Somewhere among them, wearing simple armor and unrecognized by anyone, the ruler of Mendev is standing and watching the new commander closely. The commander gives a signal to wait and climbs to the highest point along the bank. There he decides to address the soldier and boost the morale. Establishing rapport with his troops is yet another battle that the leader must face. Though the subtle alchemy of words, one can win trust and raise morale or lose face and authority. Addressing the army on the border of the Worldwound, the commander seeks to establish himself as a military leader on his new battleground. And his efforts prove fruitful. The soldiers listen dutifully, smiles appear in their faces. Someone in the ranks jokes that the demons are growing tired of waiting for them. The army keeps moving. Lines of soldiers step warily beneath the shroud of low black clouds. It's like the Worldwound has reached out a finger into the lands of Mendev. The gesture seems eerie, harmless, but the clouds come to life, shooting out howling tornadoes, one after the other. The tornadoes come from all sides, from ahead, behind, and right above the soldiers' heads. The power of the elements on one side of the scales, the soldiers' faith and inspiration on the other. It's plain to see which is greater. The determined army runs the gauntlet of tornadoes. The struggle lasts over half an hour, but the army only loses a few bags of supplies and a dozen hats whips out in the sky. After stopping to catch their breath, the soldiers continue on. The first encounter with the Worldwound has ended in their favor. The camp was set by our houndhearts, a small order of only a dozen crusaders. Soon the merciless rain and winds will erase all traces of the site, but for now they're still visible. We're finally here. Aeon and Kel must be around here somewhere, and Jenna too. If they gave her permission to leave. There they are. Greetings, Seelah, and greetings to you, Knight Commander. Elam puts his hands behind his back and bows slightly. Then he casts an inquisitive glance at you. He seems less friendly than he was the day you met at the Defender's Heart. Yenna puts her hands on her hips. She looks even more dashing than usual. Alan is feeling a little shy. He thought he asked for help from a couple of nobodies like us, but now you've turned into a savior Kenabres, knight of the Fifth Crusade, marked by Iomeda's blessing, and you still came to help him dig through a pile of junk. Seelah frowns a little. Let's not talk about it. I assure you, I'm the same Seelah, your friend from the League of the Card, and we came here to help you to look for Elend's ring. By the way, where's Curl? He didn't come with us. He said an old wound was acting up. All right, my friend. Since we're here, let's finish this mission quickly. I really don't feel comfortable bothering the Knight Commander with my personal problem. What does it look like, and where should we look for it? The last time I saw the ring, it was with my things in my traveling chest. Now the camp is totally in total disarray. I don't know we are ever finding it. The ring is made of a shiny silver metal with a deep blue-green jewel. You can't miss it. Master Derek is not just a jeweler, he's an artist. There's no mistake, one of his creation. A trinket worth several months' pay, Aeon. The rules of the surface are insane. You should give your girls fried rats like we do. You'd save yourself a lot of trouble. Is there something wrong, Aeon? Am I making you nervous? The Knight's Knight is obviously embarrassed. I apologize, Jenna is right. Much has changed since we met in Kenabres. Some things for the better, some not at all. He stopped short, apparently unwilling to elaborate. Alright, off we go. Jenna, I will look around the northern side. We'll see you when we find something. When we give up trying.
A success worthy of praise.
Torn flag of the Hound Hunters, a small but noble order of crusaders.
Together, we stand.
Let us be off.
This is my kind of work. Might be trap, might be treasure.
You are my favorite aide.
No reason to pause.
This is my kind of work.
Let's move.
You require my unbiased opinion?
Rely on me.
Then it's different from the rest. There is strong burnt smell around it and a rustling sound coming from within.
We will be victorious.
Go!
Make every strike count.
Strike with all your might.
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
Distract them from me.
No, let's do it again. This is a protected energy.
Don't mind me.
A bright future awaits us.
Adventures await.
Anything new?
Oh, skip the pleasantries.
I don't steal. I encourage people to save the poor, helpless tieflings around the world, starting with me.
Are we ready to move out?
Doubt is the heart's
Something wrong?
greatest challenge.
Rules are made to be broken.
Hmm? Oh, yes, what? You are my favorite aide.
I will help where I can. No reason to pause.
I refuse to accept their statement.
Go!
You're irrelevant.
The light. Take you.
Forwards!
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Out of my sight!
A small quasi-demon emerges from the chest. It looks at you angrily, screwing up its ugly little face. It is holding a shiny object in its paw, a sparkling silver ring with a large blue gem. It's mine! Mine! Aeon, look at the creepy thing. What it's holding. I've seen one of those before. These small demons like to taste and bully by our bolted senses any real threat. Let's surround it and attack all together before it can figure out what's happening. Mine! The quasi throw is posed in the air and splashes out with a beam of colors. You hear insolent giggling. The demons is jumping up and down, throwing the ring into the rain of catching it. Mine, mine. Aeon, Jenna. Seelah glances at her friends and turns to you. They're all right. They'll come around soon. Quickly, Aragon. Let's catch the little rascal before he turns off with the ring. Runs off with the ring. Give me the ring, you scoundrel. Before Ellen manages to get to the quasit, the halfling Cool appears right next to it, quite out of nowhere. He snatches the ring from the demon's bones. You mustn't get it. Curl? What are you? Thrusting herself between Alan and Curl, Seelah barely managed to absorb the blow aimed at the halfling. Alan stops. Have you gone mad? He's using a summon spell. Why did you stop?
Another obstacle.
Get ready. We are on our way now.
We won't falter!
Cover me, all right?
You won't survive me.
I'm wounded!
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Really? Yes, I see scrap.
Who, me?
16, still 16. It's 21 even. Still really bad.
Oh, the waiting's never fun.
Aeon. Unimosi Travisi.
I'll make my own legend. We should move.
Unimosi Travisi.
25.
I'm always open to ideas.
Don't mind me.
Aeon.
29. I'll do.
Against our resolve.
Forward!
Cover me, all right?
You crossed the wrong mongrel.
Out of my sight!
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Mind over muscle. I'll remove this obstacle.
We won't falter!
Stab you or zap you. Why not both?
You won't survive me.
should have listened to reason.
Strike with all your might!
Distract them from me!
Endure this!
Aeon, what were you doing? You nearly cut down Curl without a second thought, without a trial, without even knowing if he was responsible for all of this. He might be even victim himself. What am I doing? He lured us into a trap. Curl was the only one who knew where we were going. He knew we thought there wouldn't be anyone at the camp besides some small harnessed demons, so he set a trap. I wouldn't be surprised if his demon's master had him targeting the commander from the start. Talk about believing in the redemption of a scoundrel, Aeon scoffs. We barely know anything about what happened. Curl is a good lad. He's not a spy or a murderer. Maybe they threatened him, tricked him, or even bewitched him with demon magic. And now we'll never know because you let him escape. Better to let a thief escape than to cut down an innocent. So you're willing to let a traitor bring demons down on your head just to keep your conscience clean. Get serious, Seelah. I'm serious about this. I just can't allow you to murder someone who I consider to be a good person, or someone who I could at least redeem themselves. I'm sorry to hear that, sister. Don't you understand? You are not just a common knight anymore? Seelah, I don't want to say this, but I think of you as my friend, so I'm going to warn you. After what happened at the Grey Garrison, you are in serious danger, and maybe not just you. You might like to ignore military hierarchy and the rules of Knight New Order, but there is wisdom in them that has stood the test of time. A soldier rises from a private to an officer, a knight begins as a squire. Even Ayomi the Paladin gained the abilities gradually, but not with you and the commander. You were granted incredible power, far surprising seasoned paladins with experience and skill far beyond our years. You received this gift at just the right moment and saved a lot of lives across Mendev. That's a great deed that will be remembered for ages to come. But what happened next was wrong. They began to worship you. The Queen gave you such vast power. All while you sidestepped everything, training, experience, hardship. This is not the first time Her Majesty has behaved rashly. And how much good has this brought Mendev? I'm frightened by what I have seen, especially by the way that you, Seelah, trust people so easily and leap into adventures without looking. Then you lower your sword when you should have driven the blade home, just like thousands of bright-eyed youngsters will after you. Aeon pauses as if reluctant to continue, then looks you in the eye. I wanted to tell you the same thing, Commander. You are right to an extent, Aeon, but I didn't choose my lot, and I'm just trying to fulfill my duty as best I can. The knight lowers his head. I apologize for my harsh words. I said it to Seelah, and I'll say it again. This wasn't a reproach, but a warning. The power you've been given, it may be your undoing, and the undoing of all the creatures along with you. In any case, forgive me for wasting your time and subjecting you to the dangers here. Now at last, we know that Kerr is a traitor and Jenna is a coward ready to abandon their friends when the going gets rough. I hope we'll all learn a lesson from these mistakes. As for that blasted ring, to hell with it. Kiana won't love me solely for the gifts I bring her. Ira makes no attempt to conceal his disappointment. Nodding goodbye, he lowers his head and walks away. Seelah watches as he leaves. Her expressive eyes are filled with sadness. Everything's became very complicated all of a sudden. Please, Aragon, let's go back, and I'd like to talk to you about it later. I have a lot to think. I didn't want to because I am a bit tired, but, well, it is what it is, isn't it? I will finish at this for now. Because I need to go get to work soon.